Welcome, everyone, to the Primeval Cast, Episode 6. I am your host, Matrixlord212, and hopefully shortly I'll be joined by Louie. I wanted to get things started and say that so far, Season 1 of Primeval has been awesome. A great new show introduced to me by Louie. I'm having a great time watching it, and the finale of Season 1 blew my freaking mind, okay? Never did I expect that this would go in this direction. This is some spoilers. In case you didn't see the episode, don't watch this podcast. I suggest you go watch the episode. Episode 6, the finale of Season 1 of Primeval, and then come back and watch this podcast, okay? So basically, we start off with Professor Nick Cutter and Claudia Brown discussing while he is at his school about the recent events, okay? Helen saved Claudia. You know, they're trying to get a handle on her. Claudia needs some answers from Nick. What is causing these anomalies? Why do they appear where they do? What's the purpose of it all? And she needs answers right away from Nick because Lester is on her case. She really wants Nick and his team to be a part of this. Lester may cut them off completely. So they talk about that. It's a little flirting going on because in the last episode, Nick kissed Claudia when he thought that, you know, something was going to happen, she was going to die or something. You know, it was crazy. You know, they were getting attacked and stuff. So right there, they like each other, okay? And she was teasing him like that with sexual harassment, joking around. We go from them to, I believe, Connor and Abby are in their place, and Abby is trying to teach Connor how to be more comfortable to basically, you know, pick up women. Okay, and she's like flirty, not nerdy. So he's such a geek. He's like would ask questions comic book wise, you know, who would win in a fight, and she's like, that's not the way it's gonna work. Okay, you're not gonna pick up anybody that way. Then we have Steven is walking and Helen bumps into him, and you know, you find out you know, there's some interaction back and forth, but what you find out later on was that that was her student. Okay, so that's the connection between Steven and Helen. We see throughout the episode that there is a breach at the Forest of Dean, where they alert everybody and they're trying to figure out what's happening. Turns out there's this creature that must have came through and is, you know, it's found out later on that the creature ate a lion, creature ate Abby's boss. You know, they didn't know what was going on. Helen tells Steven that she wants to set up a meeting with Nick and the gang. Connor tells Abby that Steven's acting funny, you know, they're not telling them everything, what's going on. Lo and behold, they meet up with Helen, and they find out from Helen that this creature is from the future, okay? And somehow the creature from the future went back to the past and was feeding, okay? Now, the big concern is that this threat from the future could alter the past forever. It could erase everything. So now there's no longer a thing about saving the creature. They have to kill the creature, okay? Connor had also detected before they found out this revelation that he took blood, and he found out that he thought it was like a bat-like creature. There was nothing, you know, known about this. So he already, you know, it was already confirmed, yes, the creature is from the future, okay? You also find out that the creature uses sound like sonar to detect its prey. So basically, they have a big battle throughout the episode. Professor Cutter basically lures the creature into a trap where he shoots the glass, messes him up, shoots the thing dead. You find out that the creature has babies, and the threat is that they go into the anomaly after the creatures. And right before they go in, Claudia basically kisses Nick. I mean, she's been having, throughout the episode, she's been having nightmares with the creatures. It's sort of like a premonition to what's going to happen. She felt like sick. She felt this. She felt that. Headache. She couldn't sleep. So now Nick's going to go into danger, and she kisses him passionately, professing a love for him, and she don't care for the lust or whatever. So basically that happens. Ryan basically goes in with Nick and a few people, and then they realize that with Helen, and they realize finally that stuff that happened in episode 1 and 2, the dead bodies laying around, was that camp, was that group. So now there's the threat of altering the past, time travel, anomalies showing up, can interact, mess things up. Captain Ryan dies, okay? And that was the body that he saw was of himself, okay? So there was the creature attacks the babies, but some babies live, okay? And you have Helen and you have Nick go to the present, and basically she discusses that Stephen she had an affair with Stephen because Professor Cutter, Nick Cutter, was not giving her the time of day. So that's a shocking revelation that his best friend, who was her student, was cheating with his wife. There was all that drama. She goes back. She could break up the team. Doesn't work like that. She goes back into the past, and you find out that all of a sudden Nick is like, "Where's Claudia Brown?" And they're like, "Who's Claudia Brown?" And then he's like, "Something's wrong. The past has been altered. What are we going to do?" And you see something happening. I'm not sure. So nobody remembers Claudia Brown but Professor Nick Cutter. So now it comes to the point where I think it's safe to say, and I could be wrong, but what if we're having different Helens from different timelines, abandoned timelines, altered timelines? She's going through the anomaly so much. Maybe she's changing history. Maybe it could be a thing that every time we see Helen, because there was a part where he took a picture of Helen in the past, and that was the photograph from like the first couple of episodes. Okay, so it could be a point that she is messing up time, or it could be we don't know what the cause of the anomalies are. We don't know what the cause of why do they show up, and is there some force behind what's going on? Is there aliens involved, like Connor joked about in the first couple of episodes? Does at the end of episode 6, does Nick jump into the anomaly? I mean, is he above time getting altered because he's traveling through time himself? I mean, does Helen remember Claudia? Does Nick remember Claudia? Everybody else obviously doesn't. So now Nick has to restore the timeline. We don't know how. We don't know what's going to happen. But I just, from this episode, it's amazing how the creature was pretty cool, I got to say. The creature was pretty cool. The babies, being in the past, messing up time. The possibilities are endless with this show, with the new element of, altering the timeline and stuff like that. It kind of reminds me of Doctor Who. I could see where, Louis, this is like his favorite show more than Doctor Who, because basically, it has a lot of that elements. Not only does it have Doctor Who elements of time travel, not like sort of like with a blue box and, police box, but it has basically the anomalies, okay? And especially that place where all the anomalies appeared at once. It makes you wonder that maybe the mission is to go in the past and find out if anything from the future is there. And maybe like there has to be a team that stays in the past because they try to protect the past. I mean, I don't know if she's part of that or if there's something else going on. But this episode did surprise me. It did surprise me, shock value, that Stephen had an affair with Helen, and that they used the excuse that the professor was just not giving her attention. Now, regardless that he wasn't giving her attention or not, or be busy, whatever, that's the, like, relationship problems. That did she really have to cheat on him? No, she didn't. They could have talked it out. They could have communicated. They could have worked it out. She chose that life. She chose to burn him that way and, you know, sink herself into her work and disappear for 8 years. She didn't have to disappear for 8 years. And, of course, throughout those 8 years, she kept popping in and out, in and out. I was joking with Louie about how, you know, she'll pop in and get a Starbucks or a coffee and pop back out. Because how do you have coffee in the past? So, again, this is a great show. It's got me totally hooked. And as soon as I have the opportunity, I'm going to watch season 2. Now, where do I hope the show goes? Basically, I hope that it always has the main cast, like I like Nick and Steven and Connor and Abby and, you know, Rex the Dragon there. Claudia Brown, I hope, is restored. Lester is the, you know, the main boss. That he could be a jerk, could be not. Is he bad? We don't know. But we did lose Captain Ryan there. That was very sad. But, you know, I have a feeling maybe we'll lose some members. Maybe we'll have some new members. Again, I'm not going to look at any spoilers. I'm not going to peek ahead. I'm not even going to try to, like, look for different trailers or anything. I want to be as surprised as you new viewers are for the first time. And I think that we should support this show and support that it comes back with season 5. Again, maybe this podcast could bring awareness to that fact. Maybe, if anything, these podcasts will get new fans for Primeval, and, you know, everybody could show their support in double, triple the amount of numbers that were there before. Okay, and I can only hope that that this does the case. Now, Louis has said that there was a spin-off show too, which is only natural when the show is a success. I get some spin-offs and stuff like that. Even Doctor Who's had some spin-offs and stuff too. So I hope I enjoyed it as much as I do the original series. Anyway, in closing, it's unfortunate. I guess Louis, you know, is not in here, but we will be doing more casts with Louis and other people as well. If you guys are fans of Primeval and you want to come on the cast, you can contact Louis or myself, or you could look at the Facebook pages we have, Matrixlord212. You know, and we'll be glad to have you on here. All right. So on that note, thank you very much for listening, and take care. Bye for now.